Hello. Good afternoon. I'm glad you all could come out today. It's really a great honor for us. I'm very pleased to welcome the governor of Kanagawa Province, Kanagawa Prefecture, here to Heritage Foundation, Yuji Kuroiwa. Before becoming governor in 2011, Kuroiwa-san had a long, prestigious career with Fuji Television, and some of you, I think, know him from those years. At Fuji, he served as a newscaster, Washington, D.C. correspondent, and a popular news show, and the anchor of a popular news show. That's something we call here Sunday shows, Sunday talk shows, because they all come on Sunday and meet the press and that sort of thing. As governor now of one of Japan's largest prefectures, he has entered a whole new world. I asked him earlier how he was enjoying it. I thought it'd be much different, but it seems to be he's enjoying it very much in his second career, maybe even third career, because you were also a professor for a short time, I think. Of course, most people in Washington know Kanagawa best as the home of Yokosuka Naval Base and the other U.S. naval facilities, not just naval facilities, but the other military facilities in the region. We're so grateful to you for hosting those naval bases. I have to say, maybe we don't say that often enough, but they're so important to our alliance, and they're important to continued peace and stability in the region. Thank you very much for maintaining those for us, helping us with that. Now that's not what the governor's here to talk about today. He's here to talk about how he, at the prefecture level, is managing the challenge of Japan's aging population. That's not just a challenge for Japan, obviously, but for many other countries in East Asia, and to some extent it's a challenge for the United States as well. So we'll all be listening very carefully to your remarks. Again, we're very pleased to have you here. It's an honor. Thank you very much. I'll turn the floor over to you.
Good afternoon. My name is Yuji Kuroiwa, Governor of Kanagawa Prefecture. I would like to state my sincere gratitude to Heritage for having me today. It is a great honor to speak before such a prestigious audience. I lived in Washington, D.C. for 2 years, 14 years ago. At the time, nobody knew my name. However, recently my name is often in the news and even in American papers. Really? We often hear the name Black Clock mentioned in the media. It seems like the Black Rock is creating a large wave in the finance industry. You know, my name is Kuroiwa. The meaning of Kuro is black. Iwa is rock. So I am Black Rock, literally, creating a new wave in the healthcare industry. Now, before I get into the specifics of today's presentation, I would like to briefly introduce Kanagawa Prefecture to you. Kanagawa is located right next to Tokyo. It has a population of 9 million, the second largest in Japan after Tokyo, and has an economy the size of Denmark. Kanagawa is home to Yokohama, the second largest city in the country after Tokyo. It is also home to the Keihin area, one of the largest industrial areas in Japan. Kanagawa also has a lot of beautiful historic sites, such as Kamakura, one of the ancient samurai capitals of Japan, and also has lush greenery. Before becoming governor of Kanagawa, I spent most of my career as a TV news anchor. My program was essentially the Japanese version of Meet the Press. Over the years, I had the privilege of interviewing various world leaders. I've learned that great leaders have a strong and clear vision. They show the public what the future should be. Margaret Thatcher had a strong will to restructure the British economy. Aung San Suu Kyi has been striving to democratize her own country. Our own Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is now trying hard to revitalize Japan. I too have a vision to share with all of you, which is why I'm here today. It is a vision that forms the core of my policies. It is to present a model to the world, a Kanagawa model of what I believe future social systems should look like. In the past, we always had a larger youth population to support the elderly. However, at our current trajectory, we won't have enough young people to support the elderly in the future. Due to extended life expectancies and declining birth rates, the elderly population is increasing as the youth population decreases. As a result, the population pyramid is gradually changing shape into an upside-down pyramid. This has never happened before. You could say that we're at a turning point in our history. A great change in our social structure is upon us. In addition to other challenges, Kanagawa has the fastest aging population in Japan, which in turn has the oldest population in the world. In the coming years, an ever-decreasing population of younger workers will be supporting an ever-increasing population of the elderly. Growing medical expenses, along with a stagnant economy, are pushing the social welfare system beyond its capabilities. Communities no longer have a tight bond to provide care from within. Even in the families or communities where this care is provided, more than 60% of all caregivers are over 60 years of age. The elderly have no choice but to take care of the even more elderly. However, comparatively speaking, they are the lucky ones, as a large portion of the elderly population dies in solitude. As you know, these phenomena are not limited to Japan. It is seen worldwide in most developed countries and in many developing countries as well. It is part of the larger trend of the changes in our lifestyles and life philosophies. This is the great wave of change which we must now face in Japan, and in the years to follow, it will spread throughout the world. My duty, therefore, is to make sure that Kanagawa's social system survive and adapt accordingly in the face of this great change. At the same time, I would like to undertake the task of creating a new healthcare model here in Kanagawa, a model that I hope will serve as an example for other countries following the same path of social structural change. In addition to this social structural change, we are also facing a quantum leap in the evolution of healthcare technology. Through such new technologies as genome analysis, iPS cell technology, mass clinical database and data mining, nanotechnology, and regenerative medicine. These new technologies have and will have a massive impact on our lives. Personalized medicine will develop even further, powered by the incorporation of information communicating technology, or ICT. The same will happen with preventative medicine. People are now more focused on the quality of their lives over longevity. For example, many wish to end their lives peacefully rather than suffer the prolonged agony of anti-cancer drugs. Now, our most basic ethics, such as our views on life and death, as well as our life goals, are under question. In order to properly adapt to these changes, our social systems must evolve accordingly. The solution is to create paradigm shifts. I'm going to start by creating paradigm shifts in Kanagawa. Creating paradigm shifts isn't difficult. For example, if we ask ourselves, what is healthcare for? We answer, for curing diseases. Yet after some thought, we might change our answer to making people happy or making people feel secure. If we ask, where should healthcare be used? We answer, in hospitals, of course. Then say to ourselves, but can't we promote healthcare in our homes, or in the workplace, or even in dining and recreational facilities? Kanagawa is a testing ground for new ideas. If something is good for the people, let's do it first in Kanagawa. If a new system needs to be implemented, let's try it first in Kanagawa. In spite of all problems we are facing, large, rapid advances in healthcare have given us a chance to overcome them. We are going to merge different fields, IT with medicine, and healthcare with robotics. Kanagawa will not only be the leader of social change, it also serves as the leader of innovation. As I mentioned earlier, Kanagawa's economic size is that of Denmark. You could say it is a very large testing ground. Through my connections with Prime Minister Abe, we will be collaborating with the Japanese government in this venture. If Kanagawa succeeds at this, the rest of Japan is sure to follow. I understand that under such circumstances, we need to make drastic reforms in many areas. However, today I would like to focus on the healthcare system. My plan is called the Kanagawa Project. It's a policy plan intended to improve all aspects of life, namely happiness and health. This plan revolves around the concept of inochi. What is inochi? While the dictionary definition of inochi is life, to me, it is much more than that. It is not just about living a long life, but about all the little things in your life, caring for your family and friends, talking, eating, feeling secure, and staying healthy. It encompasses the complete spectrum of human emotions and precious moments. While this may sound slightly abstract at this point, after I get into the details of my policy plan, I'm sure you will have a clearer picture of it. Let me show you the two major approaches we will take with the Kanagawa project. The first approach is to put more emphasis on disease prevention or curing people while they are in their mibyo state. Mibyo is a basic concept used in Kanpo, or traditional Japanese herbal medicine, which originated in China. It signifies a physical and or a psychological state in between health and illness. Some may call it a pre-disease state. We tend to think that we are either healthy or sick. Let me ask you, are you healthy? Are you completely healthy? In everyday life, we are often in between. We might feel perfect, but not sick to the point that we need to see a doctor. In the Kanpo perspective, mibyo is the state where we can concentrate our efforts to reversing our path towards illness. In assessing whether someone's condition in the mibyo state, the individual's lifestyle, environment, and psychological state are examined, in addition to the more traditional examination of test results and symptoms. The fact is, we can be well on our way to illness before symptoms or test results reveal anything. If we focus simply on treating the symptoms and producing solid test results through drugs and surgery, as is practiced in Western countries, we are only touching the tip of the illness iceberg. In order to fully cure ourselves of illness, we must be aware of the list of icebergs, namely the mibyo state. One key factor that affects an individual's mibyo state is diet. In the United States, for example, 2/3 of Americans are considered overweight. This is largely due to their diet, which consists primarily of fatty foods. It's safe to say that such a lifestyle is unhealthy. Eating traditional Japanese foods has long been considered a healthy diet. Therefore, a healthy diet could almost be called medicine. Unfortunately, processed foods are becoming more and more popular amongst the younger generation in Japan. We are seeing higher rates of diet-related illness, such as diabetes. In order to reverse this trend, we must expand awareness of the mebile state. As you can see, our societies should put more effort into preventing diseases than in curing them after an individual has become ill. In other words, we should improve the level of health literacy. This will not only improve our welfare, but will also be the key to creating medical costs, especially in aging society like Japan. Mebile is not an old-fashioned, obsolete concept. It is a modern, universal commitment to promoting health and happiness in the 20th century. As you can see, Kanagawa houses many health organizations. As governor, I wanted to make Kanagawa the center for the revolution in healthcare. In order to achieve this, I have created 3 policies. The first policy involves forming the framework and the rushes surrounding healthcare in Kanagawa. The second policy is fostering life science. The third is creating innovative lifestyle. The aim of the first policy is to provide a firm base for organizations in Kanagawa. I started by designating certain districts in Kanagawa as special zones for life innovation industries. Inside these zones, companies can develop and test new technologies and benefit from tax incentives, subsidies, and exemption from various regulations. Thanks to these zones, more healthcare companies are moving their offices to Kanagawa, adding the companies that are already enjoying its benefits. Another project I undertook was creating an organization called the Global Collaboration Center, or GCC. The role of the GCC is to help companies and organizations take their ideas to markets overseas. It provides advice on FDA applications, patent strategies, and marketing. The GCC also serves as a hub for various collaboration projects between various companies and organizations. My friend and colleague, Dr. John Norris, here, is a former deputy commissioner of the FDA and now serves as a leading advisor for the GCC. He and I share the same vision in creating paradigm shifts in healthcare. Members of the GCC include such major Japanese healthcare companies as Fujifilm and Hitachi. Alongside the special zones for life innovation industries, I've also created special zones for the robotic industry. The 2 zones collaborate on various joint projects, such as the development of a nursing robot. I have also just laid down a plan to build an international school that would specialize in the training of medical experts. This facility will be built in one of the special zones. I am planning to collaborate with a renowned educational institution in the United States in the development of this school. The second policy, fostering life sciences, covers a wide range of fields, from herbal medicine to high-tech home diagnostic tools. One such project is the Kampo project. As I mentioned before, Kampo is traditional Japanese herbal medicine which originated in China. Kampo is a homeopathic practice that determines the best treatment for the individual. However, up to this point, it has been difficult to prove Kampo's efficiency and safety using standard clinical trials. With the introduction of supercomputers and other ICTs, which are part of this project, I am confident we can collect substantial evidence to prove that Kampo is in line with the future of personalized medicine. Another project is psychological analysis system technology, or PST. By analyzing a person's voice, with this technology, we can analyze the patient's mood, mental state, and whether he or she has any mental illness. All of these are made possible by collecting and analyzing data from the wave patterns in a person's voice. Another new piece of technology is the physical checkup toilet. A toilet equipped with special sensors. It will automatically measure the user's vital signs, urine glucose, and urine red blood cells, as well as carbon dioxide concentration in the gas, which is said to be closely related to the state of intestinal flora and an excellent health indicator. This means that our bathrooms will take over a role now down in hospitals. By sending the obtained data to medical facilities online, we will be able to monitor our health more closely without even having to go to a hospital. Amino index is a new diagnostic test. It can analyze the amino acid patterns in a blood serum to match the result with a library of disease patterns. My last example is the nog mouse from Central Institute for Experimental Animals, or CIEA. These immunodeficient mice are born and bred in automated cages. They are essential for iPS cells and regenerative medicine related researches are now used throughout the world. As for the third policy, we are creating a revolution in our lifestyle. We are building personal health record system that will connect each individual with medical facilities. Health records can be accessed easily through smartphones. Through this system, people may familiarize themselves with their health conditions, thus greatly increasing their health literacy. The Food for Medicine project is now collecting data on how our diet influences our health. Its ultimate goal is to create a library of evidence for how different foods affect our health. In Kanagawa, such innovative, creative medical technologies and ideas are born one after another. I wish I could share all of them with you. These new technologies and ideas will soon create a wave of innovation in healthcare systems throughout the world. By making the most of these two approaches, curing people at the mebile state and utilizing advanced technology, we will be able to make a paradigm shift in our respective societies. Such innovation is not limited to healthcare and life science. It also extends to our lifestyles. Therefore, we call it life innovation, a fundamental change in our daily lives. In conclusion, projects that were once impossible in Japan are now becoming possible in Kanagawa. There's now a wide collection of systems to support projects, including the special zones and the ZCC, and more are being created as we speak. My aim is to help our social system evolve, to adapt it to the massive wave of change we are experiencing, and make the Kanagawa model the blueprint for which I hope the whole world will aspire towards. We will continue to advance, not by one, but by 3 steps. This is my vision and my duty as the governor of Kanagawa Prefecture, and nothing would please me more than for all of us to share in this vision together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We'll take some questions, huh?
Okay.
That was one of the best presentations I've ever seen on this stage with the PowerPoint. Usually people abuse the PowerPoint. You used it to very good effect.
Yeah.
That was very good, very clear and concise and pointed. We wanted to open up to questions. Are there questions from the audience? Yes, sir, right there. Next.
Yes, Dave Fitzgerald, private consultant. Thank you very much for your presentation. I'd like to just ask your view about how you might tie in public education at the prefectural level in Kanagawa and the lifestyle or the paradigm shift in lifestyles that you're talking about. It would seem to me that the Ministry of Education in Japan has a sort of centralized approach to this. Is there enough flexibility at the prefectural level for tying in greater health literacy on the part of students so that at a very early age they become much more aware of the consequences of their diet, their exercise patterns if they have any, that kind of public education approach. Is there an area where Kanagawa Prefecture is going to add that kind of emphasis?
Okay. I'll answer in Japanese, okay? とてもいい質問いただきましてありがとうございます。
Thank you very much for a wonderful question.
教育でも2つの面についてお話をしたいと思います。
I would like to talk about two aspects in terms of education.
先ほどお話ししたように、この超高齢化社会に向かっていくために、食生活の在り方とは非常に大事です。
You see, as I mentioned before, as we are going towards super aging society, diet does take a major role in this.
この食生活の在り方というのは習慣になりますから、これは子どもの頃からの教育が必要です。
You see, eating habits diet is a habit, and therefore it is very important to instill this knowledge as an early stage.
神奈川県ではすべての学校の給食を使って教育をしています。
In Kanagawa Prefecture, in all schools, we use the school lunch as part of the education.
そのために特別の教員を配置しました。
We have actually established teachers especially for this.
もう一つの最先端のライフサイエンスの分野における教育についてお話をします。
And the other thing I like to talk about is the world-class life science.
これから先の医療は先ほどお話をしたように個別化医療を目指していきます。
The future medicine, just like I mentioned in my presentation, is personalized medicine.
そういう時代には今の医学教育で間に合うのかどうかということが問われています。
So there's a question we are facing whether the current traditional medicine education is sufficient.
全く新しい医学教育が今必要です。
I believe that we need a drastically new kind of medical education.
それを特区の中で新しい医学教育をするモデルを作っていきたいと考えています。
And I am planning, and my vision is to create a new type of medical university in the special zone.
ちょうど昨日IMO、Institute of Medicine のファインバーグインストゥルメントファインバーグ教授と会談をしました。
Yesterday, I met with Dr. Feinberg at the Institute of Medicine.
彼は医学教育の権威です。
He is the authority in the medical education.
彼と同じ思いでした。
We actually share the same sentiment.
彼も非常に興味を示してくれて、この特区の中で新しい医学教育を作るというプロジェクトを始めようということで昨日合意しました。
He took strong interest in my vision, and then he mentioned that he would like to participate in creating this medical university.
でも医療にしても教育にしても大変規制の厳しい世界です。
However, with creating universities or medical education, this involves heavy regulation.
普通ではできませんが、特区の中からだからこそできる。
So under normal circumstances, this vision will not take place. However, this will happen in this special zone.
とは言ってもこれは国との戦いにもなります。
However, this also means a battle with the country, with the
そんな
central
中で
government.
安倍総理と私が非常に強いパイプがあるということは非常に大きな力になると思っています。
In that regard, it is very essential that I have a strong connection, a personal connection with the Prime Minister Abe.
ぜひ結果を見ててください。
Please look forward to the results that we'll bear.
ありがとうございました。
Can I just ask a quick follow-up to that points that you made? What is the business incentive for investing in the special zone? You get special tax breaks, you get different rates of electricity. What is the benefit you get from investing in the zone?
はい。今大きな方向性を示しています。
We are currently showing a big direction.
ライフイノベーションを起こしていこうということです。
Basically, that we are going to implement life innovation.
私の今の感触では多くの企業がそこに大きな未来、可能性を感じています。
And my feel is that many companies actually see a very good future in this aspect.
そのことによって多くの企業が参加したくなる元々の意欲がもう出来上がっていると思っています。
So, in other words, I believe there's already an willingness on the business side to participate in this.
例えば生活支援ロボットというのは今は 日本の中で6000億円の市場です。
You see, for example, there is a kind of robot that supports people's everyday life, and this already has a 600 billion yen market.
それが20年後には7兆円の産業になると言われています。
And it is said that in 20 years, this market will grow into a 7 trillion yen market.
それだけの成長産業のビジョンを示しているわけですから、企業がどんどん参加してくる、それが一番の大きなベネフィットになると思っています。
You see, therefore, there already is a clear vision about this growth. Therefore, I believe that is a strong attraction for many businesses.
そういう本気のところが集まってきたときに、県としてもいろんな形のサポートをしていきたいと思っています。
So once we have these number of companies that has strong willingness, serious about this business, then we would like to consider different kinds of measures to support them.
Questions? You got a question? We have a microphone.
Thank you, Governor. You largely answered in your first answer what my question was going to be, but perhaps there's more you'd like to say on it. It seems that to the extent that diet is a serious health factor, that the Japanese population, especially its young people, are developing dietary habits that move in exactly the wrong direction. I think you suggested that better education in the schools is your preferred strategy for reversing this trend. But do you have any other strategies? Or do you intend to re-emphasize the traditional Japanese diet because of its health benefits? Or do you anticipate introducing changes to the traditional Japanese diet to attempt to co-opt this trend toward westernized processed foods?
はい、ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
確かに今の若い人たちがこのファーストフードを、走っているというのは、現実です。
Like as you pointed out, it is true that the Japanese young population is eating more and more fast food.
この世代に対しての啓発活動というのはなかなか難しいのは正直なところです。
So honestly, I believe it is quite challenging to educate this young generation.
一つの構想として我々は例えば一つの企業の単位でそのヘルスケアを考えていくということを目指しています。
So one of the ideas that I have is that perhaps at a corporation level, we would promote health care.
例えば神奈川県の県庁には8000人の職員がいます。
For example, there are 8,000 employees at the Kanagawa Prefectural government.
そこには若い人もどんどん入ってきます。
And there are a lot of young people coming to work with us.
知事である私が CHO、Chief Healthcare Officer になります。
So as a governor, I will become the CHO, Chief Healthcare Officer.
8000人の健康管理の責任を負います。
So I will be in charge of the health management of 8,000 members.
若者の多くもいろんな組織に入っていきます。
And many young people will participate in many kinds of organizations.
それぞれの組織が CHO という存在を作ることによってそれぞれの企業あるいはその団体でそれぞれの食生活から改善していくということを目指しています。
So if at each organization, each company has CHO, then at that level they can change the dietary habit.
こういった CHO が共に集まって情報交換していくという そういうふうな流れを作っていきたいと思っています。
So my idea is for the CHO, all of them to get together and have information, to share information.
この話はここで初めてする話です。
Actually, this is the first time I'm revealing this.
前の石原都知事はここで初めて尖閣諸島を買うと言いました。
The former Tokyo governor Ishihara has announced his willingness to purchase Senkaku Islands here.
でも私は CHO 構想をここで発表しました。
So here I am announcing for the first time that I have the vision for CHO.
Well, I hope you get as much press on that one as he got on this Senkaku. Other questions? Yes, Rick.
I think you need support from your citizen, not only older citizen but also young citizen, in order to succeed in your project. So I want to ask, how did you get the support from your residents, or allow the participation of the peoples when you established your project?
ピラミッドと出して。私は元ニュースキャスターでした。
You see, I'm a former anchor person.
テレビの世界で一瞬にして人にメッセージを伝えるということ、その大切さということをずっと追求してきました。
You see, so in my former career, I have been striving to excel at conveying a message in a very short amount of time on TV.
問題のありか、問題はどこにあるかというのは、この絵を見せれば一瞬にしてわかります。
You see, where the problem is located, people would understand it as soon as they see this chart.
この絵をいろんなところに持って住民との説明をしています。
You see, I am bringing this chart to show the people to explain.
誰がどう見ても下の絵になったときに上のシステムは通用しないということはすぐわかります。
You see, everybody understands by looking at this that once we reach the situation that is shown on the graph that is below, then the current system that is implemented in the above system no longer works.
ご老人が増えるということはとってもいいことです。悪いことではありません。
The fact that there will be more and more older people, that in and of itself is not a bad thing.
元気な形で年を取っていくということがいかに大事であるかということです。
You see, what is more important is how healthy these aging population will, how can they can maintain the health
社
as they
会
age.
のコストという面だけではなくて、それぞれの人生としてもその方がいい。
Not just for the cost of the society or the burden for the society, as an individual themselves, that is a much better situation.
そういったメッセージというのはこのグラフを見せた瞬間に15秒あれば伝えることができます。
You see, it only takes about 15 seconds by showing this chart to convey that message.
こういうことをずっと繰り返しています。
That's what I've been doing continuously.
Governor Kuroiwa, thank you for such exciting as well as ambitious talk and your policies. And first of all, I want to thank you for something else, that is, you brought such a beautiful day. In Japan, it's called Nippon Ballet, but here you brought the Kanagawa Ballet. That'll be terrific. My question is, well, since you have such a capable professional interpreter, I wanted to switch to Japanese. 産官学の提携であるとか、それからいろいろな技術の開発とかという中でもって、例えば川崎も含めてですね、神奈川県の場合は大きなっていうか非常に多い中小企業があります。これらの中小企業をいかにこの大きなフレームワークの中へ入れていくのか、あるいは大企業とどうコラボレートしていくのか、 この辺のですね、位置づけをお話しいただければと思います。
The question is, in the context of having a cooperation between business, public, and academia, and with this technological development, my question is, how are you planning to incorporate many businesses that exist in your prefecture with varying sizes, including Kawasaki area? There are many numbers of businesses.
Particularly in the small and medium size.
Okay. 確かに神奈川県中小企業がたくさんあります。
Yes, you're right. There are many small to mid-sized businesses in Kanagawa Prefecture.
しかしその一つ一つの工場にとっても高い技術を持っているところがたくさんあります。
And at each corporation, there are many corporations that have a very highly high level technology at the factory level.
この玉をきれいに磨き上げる技術とかものづくりの技術は素晴らしいものがあります。
Their technique to produce products such as creating a perfectly round ball by polishing it.
この新しい今その世界を示しています。例えば生活支援ロボット。
For example, there's a robot that is used to support everyday people's lives.
新しい産業を示すとそれぞれの中小企業が私の技術はこれに使えるということでどんどん出てきます。
You see, so once we show them a direction, then there will be more and more mid to small size companies that would show or present to us what they can do.
もうその生活支援ロボットという話を特区を取っただけでさまざまな企業がもう集まってきています。
You see, we already have established the special zone for robots, and we have already received a lot of interest from many companies.
その小さな企業同士が出会うことによってまさにイノベーションが起きてくると思っています。
And once these small-sized corporations meet together, that's when innovation takes place.
だから大きなビジョンをまず示すということが一番大事なことだと思っています。
I believe the most important thing is to show the vision, a clear vision.
Well, you've certainly done that. You've given us a very clear vision. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here again. It's an honor
you.
to host you.
Thank you.